Welcome to my week 1 team builder for the CPL. This week I am going to go up against AsterJ, coach of the Montreal Capsules. So let us get right into the team. Whoopsie daisies. My draft on the left. His draft is on the right. Like usual, stacked in order of what I think is most likely to be brought, / sorta threat-wise. Kind of hard to do this though, just right off the bat for week 1, since I haven't seen what my opponent likes to do with these mods, but I digress. Let's go over his mods. First off, Garchomp is quite a threat to my team. Useful with ground, like Dragon, Poison Jab. Coverage, basically, and maybe like Stone Edge basically hits everything. It is a Z move user for him. It is just offensive, which is not, which is still quite threatening. Most likely expecting like possibly Rock Z move if it is his Z move user. This time around, quite threatening, basically hits everything for super effective with ground, Dragon, Rock, and like a Poison Jab move. And it is quite fast, outspeeding all my mons except Galvantula and Cobalion, but it's not like Cobalion and Galvantula have stab that hit it for super effective, so doesn't really have to worry about that so much. It could easily be run Scarf to outspeed my faster mons. Very useful to basically as a revenge killer. Anytime I take out one of his mons, he can most likely easily bring it in and just click a move to blow something back. Moving on, Nihiligo could be a potential rocker for him this week. Rock and Poison, especially once again helps with Zardex, helps with Galvantula, and whatnot, helps with the Bulu, and can easily be scarfed as well. Moving on, we have Celesteela. Celesteela is his other offensive Z-Mon user. Celesteela is quite a problem because it can be run physically, it could be run specially, it could be run bulky, so we'll have to watch out for that. Possibly with Atomize for sweeping potential, and yeah, would not be surprised, or I would be quite surprised if he did not bring it, because it is quite a tricky mon to work around, especially with flying is quite useful for my team, for that Atomize, for that Bulu, for that, well, I guess not really Galvantula, it's neutral against Galvantula, but quite a good wall to those mons. Helps wall Tyranitar, helps wall Gyarados in a sense, helps wall Cobalion, helps wall Claydol, helps wall Glaceon. Only thing it really doesn't wall too well is Megazard X on my team. So yeah, we'll have to watch out for that. Next up, Seismitoad. Seismitoad is probably his best wall for that Megazord X. It also gives him rocking potential. It also gets good coverage for Bulu and Dolomize. Gets Poison Jab, gets Knockoff, gets Ice. I believe it gets Ice Punch. Yeah, Ice Punch for those. It also gives him another rocker if he does not want to run rocks on Nihilego or Garchomp. Nice and bulky mon for physical attackers. Its possible replacement, though, is that Rotom Wash right below it. If he does not want to have that 4 times weakness to grass. But I feel like he can easily work around that with Seismitoad and the rest of his mons. Moving on, we have Cresselia. Cresselia is another bulky mon. Quite hard to break. Gives him screens. Does give him Heal and Wish. This Cresselia is not as likely as, but with its bulk and with its support moves, it could easily do a lot, especially with screens and toxic and whatnot. And yeah, Cresselia is there if he is going to go for a more bulky team this time around. If not, probably will be replaced with like that Mega Houndoom or Medicham for offensive presence. Next up, we have Decidueye. Why Decidueye is for defogging purposes. I do have Galvantula, which likes to run sticky webs. I have Border, which can set up toxic spikes. Well, toxic spikes aren't as a problem. I do have a few rockers as well. Mainly, though, he kind of needs hazard removal for the sticky web, so most likely probably Decidueye would get a bonus from grassy terrain if I decide to bring it. It is also a nice wall to the Bulu and to sort of, I guess, the Dolomize. Doesn't really want to switch in, but can easily do damage. And yeah, easily could be replaced with Rotom Wash with Defog. So if I see Rotom Wash, it will probably most likely have Defog, and Decidueye probably won't be there. Probably more likely to have like Scarfed Medicham or his Mega Houndoom, which outspeeds my entire team, as offensive threats paired with that Rotom Wash. So basically, the 2 middle rows could easily be swapped around, depending on how he wants to play it. If he wants a more fast-paced game with False Switch momentum and defog on that Rotom, and wall breaking power with the Mega Medicham, or not Mega Medicham, just regular Medicham, and that Mega Houndoom, he could easily bring those. Rotom Wash, once again, purposes would be like a defogger, a somewhat check to the Megazord X. Could easily be like a trick Scarf set with Hydro Pump, False Switch. Could easily run a Will-O-Wisp to weaken all my physical attackers except for Megazord X. And other shenanigans like that. Mega Houndoom, once again, outspeeds my entire team. Fire is quite useful for my double grass. However, Dark isn't all that useful against me, even though I do have Claydol and Malawoda. Would have to watch out for Cobalion, even though fire would be actually quite useful for that Cobalion hitting it with that dark move, and he would then have to worry about it possibly being scarfed on his end. He would have to worry about my Cobalion being scarfed. And I don't think he would want to play away around with that possibility. Next up, Metacham, quite an offensive threat, gets coverage up the wazoo and is quite a hard hitter. However, it would most likely be scarfed, and like I said, webs means that scarf is nada, and then a lot of things on my team can outspeed it and deal with it. Moving on to the bottom row, not likely to, I don't really expect them to come, but of these three down here, Clefable probably most likely the one to come out of these bottom three, if he decides to bring one of these bottom three, is because of Unaware. I have a lot of setup potential on my team, and having an Unaware Mon is quite useful for that. Could easily run Thunder Wave to hinder my Mons such as Zard X and Cobalion, Gyarados, and basically not worrying about my webs because he slowed me down with Thunder Wave. It also gives him a Cleric, which could be nice for his team. Would probably most likely see that over the Cresselia. Last two Mons, Tauros, yes, it outspeeds my team. However, sheer force attacks, I don't really see it putting into that much work with 4 move syndrome. If it runs certain things, then it is easy prey for other things and whatnot. And then Selgor, don't really see him bringing that. Selgor is usually mostly always brought with spikes, and I don't think spikes would be all that useful for my team, seeing as how I have great move removal with Dolomise and Claydol. Now that I've gone over his team, I will go over the team that I decided to bring. First off, we have non-spider the Galvantula. Even though it is supposedly a spider, it's not, because it only has like four legs, maybe 3 if you count those 2 tiny things in the front. But yeah, not a spider. Sticky Web, of course, is there to slow down things such as Garchomp and Heligo, and the Scarfed Metacham, if he decides to bring it. HP Ice has a small chance to knock out the Garchomp. It's not really there to get rid of anything in one hit. It's just there to get some chip and set up webs. Volt Switch is there for momentum on things such as Celesteela, Cresselia, and the Decidueye. Giga Drain is there for Seismitoad, which I really think he is going to bring as his rocker. Depending on how I feel during the match, this is probably going to be my lead. My other lead potential is going to be Davy the Dolomise, Choice Banded Steelwork, Anchor Shot, Power Whip, Rapid Spin, Knockoff. If he doesn't bring like a Houndoom, this thing cannot be one shot by any one of his Mons unless a Z move comes off from like the Garchomp or the Celesteela. So it is a good possible lead with the Anchor Shot, Power Whip, Rapid Spin, and Knockoff. Choice Band will lock me into it though. But with Choice Band, Power Whip is guaranteed to knock out guard chop unless it is a really bulky spread. Um, but then it is not as offensive and it is more manageable, so that is fine. Knockoff is a good way to get rid of items and to see if he switches in something like the guard chop or the solid steel to see if it is has a Z crystal on it. Anchor shot is to trap things in and allow me to switch my mon without him doing it, and rapid spin is there to get rid of rocks if I do deem that it is safe to lock my choice band myself into the rapid spin. Next up, I am going to go over Gary the Gyarados. With this spread, I will not be one shot, or it's without rocks. Stone Edge from a Jolly Garchomp, Life Orb will not be able to hit KO me, which is nice. So I can set up a Dragon Dance and do a lot of damage. It also helps all physical Decidueye as well as Seismitoad, sort of, as long as it's not carrying Toxic or something like that, or Hidden Power Electric. Also, why he would bring Seismitoad over Rotom Wash is the Water Absorb to help deal with Gyarados better, but Rotom Wash also couldn't deal with Gyarados with its Electric Stab. Crunch is there to help with Decidueye and Cresselia. At +1, Ice Fang is guaranteed to knock out Garchomp unless it is Yachi or really bulky, like I said before, with the Dhelmise. Enough speed to outspeed. I want to say it was Nihilego at +1. Let me check real quick. Yeah, it's to outspeed the Nihilego at +1. Don't really have to worry about Mega Houndoom or Selgor, or not really expecting Tauros either, so it will be fine. Even if they do bring those mons, Sticky Webs will help slow them down, so +1 speed will help outspeed those as well. Arterium Z is there to help get a lot of damage on defensive Celesteela, which is kind of a problem to break for my team. Moving on to help deal with his special attackers, I am bringing in Assault Vest Tyranitar, max HP, max attack, Sand Shame obviously for the Spadef boost and to get some damage off. Ice Punch is there to knock out Garchomp. Stone Edge is there for my hardest hitting stab, quite useful for Celesteela and Cresselia. Iron Head helps take out the Nihilego, and Crunch is there for Cresselia, Decidueye, and it can be useful for that Seismitoad. And is a generic neutral play for basically any mon he decides to switch in onto it. Next up, sort of I am bringing Cobalion the Nice Shoes. Enough speed once again to outspeed Nihilio that isn't scarfed. Justified just in case he does bring a dark move. Taunt is there to taunt things such as Nihiligo and the Cresselia, which rely on status moves to help take down Cabellan. It also helps with a defensive variant of Celesteela that would rely on things such as Lead Seed and Protect to whittle down my team. Toxic is there for the incoming Seismitoad or Rotom Wash, and Sacred Sword is my hardest hitting neutral move besides Iron Head, because a lot of things resist Iron Head. Might switch that for Stealth Rocks just so I can have some chip damage on switches in and whatnot. So might change that for the battle, but will probably be Secret Sword to help deal with Celesteela better. Last but not least, I am bringing King Arthur, the Megazord X. Don't really need to bring Jolly this time around based on his speeds. With the speed, I am going to outspeed Rotom Wash, Seismitoad, Cresselia, Decidueye, Medicham, and Clefable, and everything else basically outspeeds me otherwise, even if I were to run Jolly. And Dragon Dance will help me get the speed to outspeed those things. Flare Blitz, Dragon Claw, Thunder Punch, basically to hit everything super hard. Might go for Thunder Punch over Flare Blitz on the Celesteela, just so I don't take recoil damage. That's basically the main reason for running Thunder Punch. And basically Flare Blitz, Dragon Claw at +1 can one-shot a lot of things, or at least bring them really low. And that is my team for week 1 of the CPL against Aster and the Montreal Capsules. Check out the battle, which will probably come out shortly after this video. Catch you next time.